Hello, everybody. We'll talk Wild Wild West in a second. Frankenstein, what's
Is it just me? Or
Hello, everybody. I am Dino, and that's Dave Plouffe, who would rather be talking about Skinwalker Ranch. So would I. Not to say that this wasn't a bad episode. It was an average episode,
I
but
enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a great
yeah,
way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
yes, and there's some fun things to talk about this episode. The what is it? The case of the glowing corpse, or
It's
what is it?
always the night. The night. Of
The night, that's right. Shows you how much I give a No, I'm joking. No, oh, no. Well, like Prisoner to You, but no. I don't even think it's comparable because I actually like Wild Wild West. I don't think you like The Prisoner at all. Anyways, before we get started here, I'd like to do something before we start this show. Here we go. This is for Connie. Happy birthday, Connie, and happy birthday to her dad, Tim. Here we go, everybody. Connie and Tim. Connie and Tim. Happy to Connie and Tim. To you all. There you go. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna drag it on too long there, but that was a nice song there. So happy birthday, Connie, and happy birthday to her dad, Tim.
You know, if we had actually practiced, you could have said Connie and I could have said Tim, and that would have been really great.
Yeah, we could have, but yeah, no, we practiced for like an hour. We were doing like a chorus choir type thing, and it's just we were working too hard, and we said forget it, just pick a song and play it. So yeah, everybody wish them a happy birthday in there. Which, by the way, Dave, something I'm going to start up for the channel members on the channel, because I was going through analytics today and looking at everything and stuff, and out all the members, and I love everybody, how you guys are supporting the channel and everything. There's 166 members. That's a lot of members. And there's a good 15, 16 of them that have been members for over 3 years.
Wow.
And Connie is going to be the first inductee. She's the longest at, I think, 45 or 49 months, something like that. So
you were going to say years old.
Well, not quite that, but so I am going to put together the Late Late Horror Show Hall of Fame. Anybody 3 years and on gets inducted into this Members Hall of Fame. Listen, I know that's cheesy as hell, but I think kind of fun.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Whether people thinks that's cheesy, campy, whatever, it is what it is, and I appreciate everybody. So that's why I'm going to do that. And when you pass a certain amount, you're going to be in there. And I was astounded by how many people were in like 40 months and above. And I was like, oh my God, thank these people. I got to do something. So let me step.
Did you ever have the $1.98 beauty pageant where you lived?
The dollar. It wasn't that something from the 50s or something like that?
No, it was from the late 70s.
No, never heard of it. Yeah.
During the same time as Benny Hill. I think
I know Benny Hill.
Was it Rip Taylor? Yeah. And he would have this beauty pageant where they would pick this person, and for the winning, they'd get $1.98, and he'd have a little change thing on his belt, and he'd count $1.98. It was great. And that just reminded me of your, I got to do something. That's what
No, that is so funny. I'm going to have to look that up. Let me say hi to everybody. Radman197 hash mark, whatever that is. What is that, Dave? What is that mark there? What would you call that after Radman197? Is that a
An asterisk.
Okay, Radman197 asterisk. Hello and welcome, John Swan, Lizzie Armstrong. What's going on, Lizzie? Mr. Ed. Hey. John Swan. I said that twice. Rip Taylor, rest in peace. Yep. Scott Schultz, sweet indigo, sweet. Nathan. Who else is here? Let's see. Of course, Connie. I mean, come on. Horror Junkie for life. That was a drunken pub song is what that was. D someone. Hey D, how you doing? Oh man. Why did I giggle and laugh like that? Like a little schoolboy. That's kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, let's get talking. Andrea and wait, what's this, Dave?
That's the finale of $1.98.
Oh, okay, thank you. There we go. Oh my god, I'm coughing. Oh. Sin City Jim, hey, what's going on? Okay, let's talk about this episode, Dave. New version of Restream coming up here, 2.0. Sky's the limit on this. I didn't change anything yet, but I'm gonna update it tonight and see if it looks any different or the setup or anything like that. But we are here and we got the chat. So let's talk about this episode, Dave. I call this the Frankenstein episode. There's a lot of connections between Frankenstein in this.
There is. I'm glad you pointed them out to me earlier during our practice run, because I didn't notice them as much. I actually called him one of the Spice Girls because of his boots being all elevated.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get that out right to begin with here. Daniel Adia Forrest. Adia Forrest. What's that mean? Adia Forrest. What do you? Anyways, I don't know what I'm doing. Harry Scott, Donald Duck Apple Juice. Hello, Harry Scott. Good to see you as always. Hi, Boy Donuts. And I will say this too: when I do put the Hall of Fame up there will be a special spot over to the right or left where for RTN Dennis and Connie Hilton, who have both passed away, who were members when they passed away, and we'll always remember them. So yeah, going to do that in the next couple of days. Anyways, Dave talks about, and I said this is the Frankenstein episode of Wild Wild West. Okay, there's a big guy, really big guy. He doesn't say nothing, and at one point I thought he said, but I don't think he talked at all. He didn't talk. But he has these Frankenstein boots, and they're like 5 inches tall, and he's like this, walking around. And he's also at one point he's opening up a crate, just like Abbott was telling me, Frankenstein. There's a body in there. I'm getting ready to think, they're going to open that up, and here's Dracula's coffin or something. But and you said young Frankenstein.
There's
even,
also
Dave.
a point where he shows his knees.
Yeah, he shows his knees. Yeah. Yeah, they're metal knees. He's well, that's later in the episode where Jim it starts to fight him, and a blade flies out of the front of his boot, and he swings around in his judo turnabout. What is it? A roundhouse kick. Oh my god, I'm losing it. Yeah, he does a roundhouse kick, and it doesn't do nothing to the guy's leg, Frankenstein's leg, and he lifts up. What's her name? Clooney? Is that her name? Yeah. She says, lift up your pant leg. Who do you call her?
The florist lady.
Yeah, or the botanist, I call her. Boy, Dave, that's another thing. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. The botanical garden area that she was in. Oh my God. I'm sure we both were feeling the same way. I want that.
I would have liked it with more glass. I'm like, how are they growing all these plants inside without a light?
Well, I mean, I think the glass was on the top of the roof, but we know we need light on the sides too. I mean, come on, the more light, the better, Anyways, did I get everybody? Mr. Ed, I think I said everybody's name, but yes, there's also a young Frankenstein reference, not reference, but connection here. Go on, Dave, tell us about it.
Well, the botanist's uncle, who is kind of the lead French person,
the good doctor,
invented Franconium,
Oh, I didn't even mention that either. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
also Frankenstein episode. The substance they're talking about throughout this whole episode is franconium. Anyways, go ahead, Dave.
and they now I lost my train of thought. The guy there was in Young Frankenstein. He was one of the jailers, and he was the one who would put the flame in front of the monster, to make
Yeah.
the monster go.
Yeah, he was the sadistic guard
Sadistic guard.
in
That
Young
was the term.
Frankenstein. Yeah, yeah. So lots of Frankenstein references in here. And the franconium, which this whole episode is going to revolve around because they steal it because there's a French and Prussia war going on.
There is.
And Dave would know more about that with his history, and he's a professor, I think.
It actually does affect quite a bit of artists. They go off to fight in this war, and unfortunately, they're killed. But this is the time of Impressionism in France. And so you have people like Monet and Mary Cassatt and Edgar Degas, but you have a whole bunch of other names that, you don't know, like Frederick Bazille, who was a fantastic artist, but went off fight in the Franco-Prussian Wars in the 1860s and was killed. So this is Wild Wild West is from the 1860s because it's the time of Reconstruction after the Civil War. So we do have alliances right now pretty heavily with France.
Nice, yes. So there is that. The war is going on. And this franconium substance, which is like uranium or something like that, it's basically the same thing. I mean, if you go close to it, you're going to be contaminated, like, radiation, same kind of thing. Yeah. So like they said, even a drop could kill a ton of people. So it's just, you got to be very careful. Let me say hello to JLR, Sailor Sam. You missed a happy birthday to Connie and Connie's dad, Tim. I didn't sing her a song, but I tried my best, So is Undead Caesar here too? Caesar? Do I see Caesar? Good to have you here too, Horror Junkie. Hope all's good. Truth, there actually was a element called francium discovered, and I think that yes, I do remember that. D. Good to see Setempia Falls is doing well too. All the prayers and everything helped for Setempia. But anyways, so wherever you want to start, Dave, with this episode, man. There is a beautiful woman too.
There's a lot of beautiful women in this program.
There are. There's a couple at the end too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Lucky Artemis and
Artemis lucked out compared to Jim. I did not care for the one Jim walked out with. But anyway, that's at the end of the program.
Right.
We're going to go back to October 29th, 1965, the night of the glowing corpse, a 7.3 on IMDb. For me, about a 6.5. It's not as good. But I enjoyed it. We're in French consulate, and there's a meeting, and everyone's dressed up really nicely. And Jim is coming downstairs because he's just checked on the franconium, which we'll find out later, is up in a safe. And the safe looks like a jail cell. It literally is just bars, but it's hashtag bars rather than just vertical bars. And
like tic-tac-toe bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They all head into a meeting, and Jim and Artemis are in the back.
I'm good at tic-tac-toe, Dave.
You're good at it?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I won some competitions.
Any awards?
Trophies, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe trophies.
Reminded me of Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, no, that's how we did it, and I would always win. So go ahead.
My favorite part is, well, two people come in late, and
oh God, yes. Oh, this is so funny, Dave. When I saw this, I'm like, what the? I mean, I get it afterwards, and we know about the boots.
Yes,
but when you see it, it's so funny. And there's just really, and I'll let you get to that and talk about that. But there's a big. Well, I mean, come on, a little more. We'll be done in 15 minutes. We gotta drag this out.
You don't have to drag anything out.
We gotta drag it out, or we can make this a 20-minute show from now on.
Okay, so everybody's 90 minutes to fill the airwaves.
Well, there's a big like
I'm just so
meeting
happy we've got over here. We've got the
chat.
chat.
Yeah, it's over here for me. Oh yes, yep, it's over there on screen.
Well, if you were
But there's a
cross-eyed,
big dinner party type thing going on before the big meeting where the guy talks about the Franconium and all that, and that's when you're introduced to Clooney, I think is her name, and
yes,
unless I'm pronouncing it wrong.
yeah, she's actually weird because
Yeah.
Jim walks into this room, checks it out, and there's this girl with her back to us, and she's arranging flowers. That's why I put her down as the florist when I was taking my notes.
Yeah.
And she turns around, and my first thing was, gosh, she looks like Carol Burnett. In real life, she is Carol Burnett's sister-in-law.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay. Well, there you go. Carol Burnett stuff. Good for her. Yeah, lots of stories there, I'm sure.
Funny ones.
Yeah, very funny ones.
And Jim
but yeah,
doesn't
I
miss
I like that it starts the way it ends. I'm sorry, Dave.
No, I like the way it yes, I like the wraparound too. It reminded me of a Jack Benny program.
There you go. Yeah. It starts the way it ends. But yeah, they all get ready to go to the meeting, and this is where Dave's at, where the funniest part of this is. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first he asks the lady out. First thing, he's like, "What are you doing tonight? You want to go to the theater with me?" And she's all, "Okay, I'll go with the theater with you."
After this meeting, how about we go out for dinner? Yeah, he's slick, man.
He is. Yeah. He knows what he wants. Everyone files in for the meeting. The doors close, but the doorbell rings. And so the doorman goes over to the door, opens it up, and there's this old woman there. And he's all, "Madame, you are late." And in walks Frank.
Was that a butler that opened the door for them?
I don't think it was a butler per se.
Just put him in charge for you're in charge of the door.
Exactly.
For the evening. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Bad move on his part, though, because he's going to get a roundhouse kick right to the stomach
by Giant Frankenstein.
Kills him. Right? It doesn't even knock him out. I think it kills him because later on they talk about how they're going to be charged with murder.
Okay. So I just thought they knocked him out, and even just knocking him out with a kick to the chest. When I first seen it, I'm like going, boy, that guy went out real fast.
Well, if it hits the solar plexus, it would knock you out.
Well, I don't know. It depends, Dave. I don't know. Listen, we can debate about that some other night for 2 hours. But can you imagine doing a show on that? We can do a slideshow presentation, Dave.
We may have to on our prediction show.
Okay. Well,
put a note on that one. Click.
Anyways, yeah, the roundhouse kick. Well, I mean, his boot is, I guess, 5 inches of iron. I mean, in IMDb, what is it? Iron foot is what he's called. Iron foot or iron.
Hold on,
yeah.
I have my notes right here.
Yeah, that's Iron foot.
It is Iron foot.
Yeah, Charles Horvath, Iron foot.
And this guy, even
and when you ask him if he's Iron foot, he goes, So yeah.
And even though he died around our age, which is scary,
oh boy,
he was in over like 270 episodes of TV shows and all sorts of things. He is the most
holy Moses
accomplished actor in this whole episode tonight.
That's a lot of screen time. I mean, he could have been 1,000, but if he lived to be 70, 80, I mean, you know, whatever.
Well, he was also one of his early episodes was.
I heard they gave him like bird seed for pay. That's why he kept doing more and more shows, because he would sell the bird seed to get, you know, a sandwich later that night. Couldn't even pay his rent. Unbelievable, Dave. What are you eating there? What is that?
Nothing that you sent me.
No.
Freeze-dried raspberries.
Oh, okay, nice. Little sweet tart there, you know, as the moisture unfreezes it. That's interesting. We could do a 2-hour show on that one night, Dave.
One day when we do our cooking show.
Yeah, we could do a slideshow presentation.
We could.
Okay, so Um, yeah, he gets it. He dies. The roundhouse kick to the chest, and then we are. Yeah, where are we, Dave?
Then we go upstairs to set the
I'm in
dynamite
Cleveland,
blast.
Ohio. Dynamite blast. Does that happen right away?
It happens right away. After the guy kicks in the
Frankenstein. Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes up to the security room. It's called.
Yes.
Back in the 1860s, that's what they would put in the room where the important stuff is. It would be security. I think it's a goof there. That's not a word or a term they would use for that room.
Perhaps not.
No.
But then, luckily, the guy has his iron feet, and he kicks through, I guess, enough of the iron railing to put a dynamite charge.
Oh, he was kicking everything. And listen, this guy was clumsy. I mean, all he had going for him was the boots. You know, there was no swing to it. You know, Dave. I mean, if this guy danced, I mean, he would be in last place.
Ooh.
Yeah, it would be an ugly.
It would almost be like Herman Munster.
Yes,
where
exactly.
you have him like literally pounding in the dance floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was not. It was not pretty watching him. And later on, there's a scene where he's at the table at the restaurant when they're back at the hotel or whatever. He's sitting at the table. He's got his boots on, and Jim West comes. He's going to notice that right away, which he didn't because he left, and you hear him going clanking on the wooden floor. And then when he turns around the corner, I don't know where he was going, but he goes, I think he bumped into somebody and went, whoa. You know, it was really kind of strange, really odd. Freeze-dried raspberries, huh, Dave? Good stuff.
So much for the 31 people that were watching us.
What do you mean? Where'd they go?
I don't know, but
they're still there.
After the raspberry talk, they've gone.
No, they're there.
One of my favorite parts is Jim and Artemis are sitting in the back of the room as they're talking about Franconium and how important this is to the French government.
Yeah.
They look up and like an earthquake has happened. And there's like some dust falling down from the ceiling and the whole light thing.
That's another thing I didn't get, like during that opening scene there when they're in that room, but you would think that you would hear those iron feet climbing up the steps, going into the room, and then the explosion. I mean, Jim and Artemis, I mean, Jim does hear it, and they do run out to run up there, but a little too late. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
Well, I think a little bit too late, yes, because he tells Artemis to stay there. That's a big mistake. He runs up and he meets this old lady, or he doesn't actually see the old lady. She's hiding. And he starts fighting with the guy with the iron feet.
And I'll tell you what, it was a good fight scene, man. He was doing some judo and he was knocking the iron feet away, and
not as good as the fight later in the conservatory.
What's that?
Not as good as the ending fight in the conservatory.
Oh well, no, that was a little bit more planned out.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a little more planned out, and we'll talk about that after. That was like a tanning place that they turned into a botanical type garden area or whatever. I don't know. Tanning as in tanning hide, and you would do that in boiling liquid and maybe with some chemicals or something. I don't know.
I guess it reminded me of the House of Wax with Vincent Price.
Yes, where the floor opens up and it's got the acid and he falls in. Yes, and then there's just skeletons.
Yes.
Was that House of Wax or House on Haunted Hill?
I actually maybe think both.
Okay,
I think House on Haunted Hill had the skeletons.
Okay.
House of Wax had the.
Gotcha. Okay. Nathan, hello. Good to see you. Welcome and shakedown, of course. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, he's fighting with him. There's a big battle going on to fight, and Jim's holding his own, and he's kind of, I think, knocking the guy out and throws him back. Am I wrong? And the old woman comes out of the shadows.
But then out of the shadows, out of the extra room, comes this old lady, and she saps him.
Yeah, she karate chops him on the back of the neck. And he's going in and out.
He passes out, but right before he passes out, he grabs her ankle.
And she starts kicking him.
Yeah.
Like she's got iron feet.
Right.
Which confused me. It confused me, Dave. I know. I don't know what to say, man. I was confused. She starts kicking him, but it was an old woman, which we're going to find out that it wasn't really an old woman very soon. But Coca-Cola you got today, huh, Dave? Yeah.
It's not just Coca-Cola, it's cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke, okay.
Yeah,
and
I thought we would be more like twins because you have the straw in the ginger ale.
Yeah.
I have a straw and a cherry Coke.
You got to pour it into a nice glass jar here, you know. This is a canning jar. I love these things. They're heavy as heck. Like I lift weights as I'm doing the show. You know, if you curl enough of these, you know, the bicep just continues to enlarge and the veins pop out. So, you know. So he's got cherry Coca-Cola and freeze-dried raspberries. You ever think of dropping one in the pop?
No.
Seeing what happens? It fizzes over. Dave's whole desk gets ruined. That's not a good sign. Let's not even talk about that. Okay, where are we at? The old woman, she's lovely. Now, this is one old woman that I really would like to go out to dinner with, Dave.
I can imagine. But remember, if you looked at the IMDb, an actually old woman plays her. It is not an actress, the younger actress dressed up as an old woman. It literally is a separate, totally different actress.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll know her as Amelie.
Yes.
And she'll be coming up very soon. But we're actually now going to zip over to the conservatory where the botanist lady is. And we again
Is it the conservatory?
I think it's the conservatory.
I said the botanical garden area, but yeah, conservatory is where plants and that's where the telescope's at back in the late 1800s. That's the observatory.
Yes.
The conservatory.
Correct. Deals with plants.
Okay, I take your word. I don't need to go anymore. I was going to look it up real quick, but I do not need to do that.
All right. You know what? We're just going to call it the greenhouse room.
No, let's call it the conservatory because I like Clue.
Exactly. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So in the conservatory room, we have the botanist lady looking at orchids underneath the microscope. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking all cute in her dress, you know, and picking flowers and
I didn't realize until this point that her uncle was the one who invented the Franconium. Because that's why that's why Jim West is there, is he's chatting with her and he's all, I need to go see your uncle.
Yes. Her uncle was Dr. Jean-Paul Ormont. And he was the scientist who, was trying to, and they're basically given it to the United States to protect and to work with the United States, right? To kind of help out so the Prussians don't get it. And Dave, what are the Prussians? What is give us a little history lesson on Prussia.
I thought Prussia was part of Germany.
Thank you. So moving on.
Because later on she saw, I was born in Saarbrücken.
I was born in Saarbrücken. And another connection to Young Frankenstein. That was the sister of Fahrvergnügen. You know, with the horse. And she was from Austria.
Fahrvergnügen is actually Volkswagen.
Fahrbrücken. Yes. Okay, there's the name. Okay. Fahrbrücken. I'm mixing.
Oh boy.
I know we're having fun again. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Kuvas won. So it is Tim, Connie's dad. Everybody say happy birthday again. This is Peg, Connie's. Oh, it's Peg, Connie's mom. It's not her birthday. It's her husband's birthday. But anyways, hello, Peg. Good to see you. So yeah, okay. So I kind of went off a little bit there, Dave. So continue. She's in the conservatory looking all, like she's whatever.
Yeah, Artemis shows up, tells us everyone's under surveillance, And then we go inside to meet the uncle, and he's got a glowing key on like this really nice velvet,
Yeah. Prussia was part of Czech, Poland, Russia. That whole map was redrawn. You can say that again, D. There's crayon marks all over the map over there. It
Now I
changed
feel
again
like
later
playing
on.
Risk.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's glowing there. And the point I guess they were trying to make is just being in the room, the Franconium can take on some of that, the material that's in there, and like radiation. It's basically the same thing, right, Dave?
It is, and he's got that special thing that swings around with the fins on it.
Oh, I was wondering where we're going. Okay, yeah, there's a really unique piece of steampunk. Here we go, a little bit.
Sure.
It's got these little like fan type things that spin in a glass encased in a wooden bottom that detects the amount of franconium the nearer you get to it. And the faster it spins, you're in trouble, kind of like a uranium detector. I don't know. That was a bad sound effect.
It reminded me too of Skinwalker Ranch, where they start going, levels are too high. We gotta go. We gotta clear the area.
Yep. Yeah, what a night. Oh, wait, I was thinking of something totally different.
Lizzie Armstrong is
Oh, didn't yeah, was she here earlier? Hey, Lizzie,
here.
if I didn't say hi. Yeah, no, I said hi to Lizzie when we first started.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, they're going back and forth talking. Go ahead, Dave.
There's a little bit of a fight between Jim West and the guy from the Sûreté, and it reminded me of Inspector Clouseau, because he would always introduce himself. I'm Inspector Clouseau of the Sûreté.
Who was that? He was fighting with who?
Lieutenant Armand.
Lieutenant Armand or Renard?
Does it matter?
Not really. Oh, and Lieutenant Armand Renard. So they're the same people.
There we go.
And Renard, Lieutenant Renard is kind of in cahoots with well, not in cahoots. He's working closely with Clooney, the woman, the botanist. So they're working close together because evidently they're from France. They're saying they're from France.
Right.
He's a lieutenant. They had what did I do there? Anyways, go on, Dave.
Okay. So they get into a little bit of a fight. Amelie walks in and
Doesn't he slap him?
She's looking gorgeous. Not yet. She's looking gorgeous. She drops off a note, and Jim West immediately recognizes her and says, "Hey."
When she walked in the room, everybody turned and looked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, eyes popped out. Even
some of them got put back in.
Yeah.
But he goes, "Show us your ankles," and she's all, "I will not."
Well, because he says that is the old woman that I saw yesterday. I don't know what gave it away.
I don't remember either.
He just immediately said, "That's her." And then he picks her up and shows the bruises, the fingerprint. He must have really gripped her real hard.
Totally.
Yeah.
And through her boots, too. It wasn't like just a little sock or skin or anything like that. It went through the boots. And he's like, "How do you get your fingerprints through there?" I don't know. But he's all, "Look, these are my fingerprints on her ankle," which I think is a whole nother show. But anyway, he's all, "Let me go and interrogate her." So they go into a room, and she immediately starts slapping him and then kissing him, because she sees that in his vest, there's a gun.
Well, yeah. I mean, when she saw the gun, she thought she'd use her beauty to entice him and to pull the wool over his eyes,
Yes.
And yeah, it could have worked, but he was thinking one step ahead, And she did take the gun, and she went boom, 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 and she got away free and
6
clean.
times cleared out the chamber.
And like Artemis said in a few minutes, you're glad, Jim, that she didn't go a little bit higher and get your face. But
Well,
go ahead.
The thing is, though, when she's shooting him, he falls. Like,
Yes.
you know, again, like you could have been shot in the face or the thigh
Yeah.
or whatever, but no, all 6 shots went right into the bulletproof vest.
Yes, and yeah, I mean, I didn't see any holes, so I was going, did they ricochet off? I mean, she would have noticed that. Bing, ding, you know what I mean? But no, and I like how he takes it off too. It just like lifts off, like it was hanging on his shoulders.
It's like a bib.
Yeah, it was a bulletproof bib, is what it was, Dave. Good analogy. Yeah. See, Dave, Rocky says it was a bib. Yeah, say, yeah, you can shoot me. I can eat soup and just let it drop all over, but I'm not going to die. See. Thank you, Connie. Hope you're enjoying. Everybody, hit the bell, subscribe, do all that. Hit the like button, all that. Let's see how many likes we got, Dave. Why not? What the heck is 38 minutes? 41 likes. I think this is the last Sunday, Dave. I'm sorry, man.
All right.
We can't even get 42 likes. It's just over.
Well, if we quit now, we won't have to do the last Kolchak episode next week.
Right. And if we quit now, we wouldn't get that 42 likes. We can just immediately stop it and freeze it at 41. See you guys. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to continue.
We're booked. All the way until February 23rd.
Dave's got us till when we're in flying machines, man. You're 2027.
I got one episode coming up in about 30 years. It's on X-Lax.
And the X-Lax in 30 years from now is just going to be this little tiny. I mean, it's so microscopic you wouldn't even know it. But it's going to
be like $25 a pill with inflation.
Well, that's true. Yeah. No, but remember the currency changes too. I forget what we called it back then. Remember when we dove into that and we kind of astral traveled to the future, and it was like a parsec. It was just a weird name for the money, but anyways, it wasn't Bitcoin, but
a parsec is actually a distance of time.
I know, that's why. Thanks for pointing it out. Now I look even more stupid than I thought I did when I said it. It cost 50 parsec. You mean I get to go that far? Yeah. Okay, Dave. Yeah, this was a fantastic episode. I loved it. It was average.
It was average, but it was fun. It was, again, a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon. I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed the women more than anything else, but
well, Dave, come on,
everyone rushes into Jim now that he's on the ground, and we see that he's got a bulletproof vest. But then we get to go over on the train
a little bit.
We're
on the train, yes.
So they're putting in the train for service, and
yeah, it's at some kind of gas station. It's weird.
I guess, clean the windows.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
I'm sure you want air.
But what is that thing that goes?
We don't got rubber tires, see? Yeah. But do you want a lube job? No. Wait, what? Yeah, no. Listen, the train's there, and I love that Artemis is hanging from the ceiling like he's.
Oh, that was such a great entry. Jim walks into the train, and all you see is this hanging body, kind of.
Artemis is hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God. Artemis had enough of Jim's stuff, He's always putting him on edge and stressing him out and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't really understand, but
a couple of times in this episode, and we should say hello to Russell from London.
Hello, Russell from London. Hi everyone from London. The wee hours. Yeah. US Great Britain. There you go. There's Russell. Everybody wave hi. Hi. We're talking Wild Wild West, and you know that because you popped in the stream. So Yeah, he's hanging there, but he's hanging there because he's in this episode. He's working on two different devices, and one of them is where he's hanging, and it's a putty substance that can hold you a bunch of weight to the ceiling for, I think he said 10 minutes or something like that.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Later, Jim uses it to hang, and he's hanging for way longer than 10 seconds.
Not only that, you see it start to give away, and then he just goes, pulls himself up. I'm like, look, dude, that's going to fall and break, and that's...
He's a vampire. He flew up.
Oh, geez.
That was funny.
And it basically looked like Play-Doh or a giant wad of chewed bubble gum.
Yeah, or putty that you would put on the newspapers back when you were a kid, and you would peel it off.
That was fun. Silly putty, yeah.
Yeah, and you go, oh my God, look at the comics are on my putty. Those were the days, Dave.
It was, when nothing else mattered.
Yeah, I mean, we were enthused, entertained by putty in our favorite comics.
Great game, great Sunday night talk as well. What kind of toys we had as kids, like Slinkies and stuff.
Oh yeah, we'd bring them they'd be pouring in for our stream.
Well, more than Prisoner.
I still like Prisoner. I don't know. Last week was a little weird and psychedelic, but yeah, it was a tough one. But anyways, so Jim sits down because they start getting a message over the.
What is that? I couldn't write it down.
What do you mean? What he said? What the message was?
No, the machine.
Oh, it's just a telegraph machine that trains would use it too. It would come over the lines.
I know that, but I just didn't have a name for the machine.
Listen, we're looking like dummies today, Dave. It's how you
just today.
It's how you send messages in the Old West with the little.
Yes, but someone in the chat's going to know the name of the machine.
Military. I don't know what the name of the machine is.
Was it a dictograph?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Somebody will tell us.
But it reminded me of Three Stooges episode where Mo was all, quick, take the message, and it was like deet 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 deet,
and Curly comes running over and goes deet 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 deet.
God, I love that.
Three Stooges, man.
Good stuff.
The early stuff, even the later stuff with Shemp, but they're just so good, man. So Morse code, thank you, Lizzie.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Telegraph, Morse code. They were sending Morse code via telegraph. We're such idiots. Anyways,
we're the special channel. Oh,
I'm not even going there. Okay, anyway. Yes, Morse code machine.
And we find out that Amelie has been followed to an amusement park, and that's where we're going to have Jim go and visit her.
And they found out intel that there was a meeting was going to take place. So, yeah, and then the next scene is them there at the amusement park, and I thought it was cool. It looked more...
Oh, and the flying nun. Did you see that habit thing on that one woman? That took off the whole screen.
That was some cool. There was some cool stuff there.
It was. I loved that amusement park. The Carnival.
Yes. And I was trying to think. I mean, was there something like that back in the 1860s? I mean, I know there was entertainment and stuff like that, but to that degree, I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, it looked more like a 20s, 30s kind of carnival, is what it looked like. But anyways, special. Yeah, we're special. Thank you very much.
And then she hides her face with the cotton candy. She's like, look at me. And I'm like, I want to look at you.
Very much so.
Yeah. And she walks over to the
castle, it says. It's a haunted house, like, where things are going to pop up, ghosts and stuff like that. And
a fun house.
Yeah, fun house is what it is.
And the first thing we have is an alien.
Oh, the alien looks so cool. Dave's favorite part.
We also had
It was like the thing from another planet, I think it's called, where the big bulbous head. Morse code transmitted by a telegraph machine by Samuel F.B. Morse, 1832 to 35. I'm taking that.
we're being schooled by the chat today, both in geography and inventions.
Well, isn't that special?
What I loved also from the funhouse was that one woman in the rocking chair that had the laugh. That was
it was
so
creepy because it was a real woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fake or a dummy or anything. It was a real woman pretending to be, something to scare them. Yeah, it was really cool. The monster was originally a rejected design concept for the alien visitors in the film. It came from outer space. Thank you, Radman. Yes, it came from outer space. That's the exact one. It looks almost exactly like that. Thank you, Radman197 asterisk.
But it was definitely out of place in the 1860s, and that's what I also thought made it really cool in this room.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. All I knew of Wild Wild West was it was about the West and there was steampunk elements involved and stuff like that. To this point, I really don't see that steampunk side of the series. And that's where I guess I'll ask you again. I don't know if I've asked you before. Later seasons, does it become more of a steampunk incorporation to the series? Or does it continue just like this?
I think it does a little bit more. I mean, we're only in episode 7. There's 104 episodes in the series. Yeah. And I think once we get to color, we'll get a little bit more of the cooler tricks and things like that.
Okay. Machinery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see Jim and Artemis, wheeling a flying balloon over the city.
You're not going to see that.
Dang it. Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it anyways. My favorite inventors, says Nathan, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and yes, inventors of the original Nintendo Entertainment System. That's funny. Moving on.
Emily sees the botany lady.
Yes.
So we know the botany lady is the evil spy in the film. And
Clooney put one over us on us.
Yeah.
George Clooney just is, Clooney, whoever her name is.
Emily says, I've killed him. And the Clooney lady's all like, you fool. He was wearing a bulletproof vest. He's got you followed because they're trying to find me. And she just pulls out a gun and shoots her.
Yeah. But leaves a plant, a flower, orchid, in her hand, thus giving her away, which she tells Jim a little bit later on. That was my plan. Or she says, that was my plan.
And we're at 48 minutes, and Dino has just said thus for the first time.
Oh. I can't believe you still remember. Okay. Keeping track of the thus. The thus. Not only a thee.
Yes, very shaky.
Shall thy say thee?
You know what we're gonna do?
Might as well. Let's get caught up on what we're doing in the future here.
Hold on.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I got a plan for us.
You got a plan?
Mark,
on a mission?
Frasier. Episode 1, season 1.
Wait for a future show?
Yep.
Oh, how dare you?
Yep.
Well, not how dare you. Maybe you'll force me to start watching it. I mean, I know it's probably a good show. I know it's probably a good show. I just never seen Frasier before. But I'm going to love it. So, yeah, why not? Go ahead.
All right.
Listen, we may get 20 people watching, but, it's all right.
See, we killed off 11 people already.
Did we really?
I'm surprised Pap Smear's not talking. I hate these guys.
Pap Smear, what the?
At least we're not drunk like our friends over at Colombo Confab.
Well, hey, whatever gets you to have fun. And okay, so where are we at? What's going on here?
Emily just died, and now we're back at the restaurant with the boots guy and the next table. And
This scene was so funny.
and you have the French guy from the Sûreté sitting with the
Renard.
lady, and she's
Clooney.
putting another orchid like right on his lapel, like he's gonna be taken to prom or something.
Yeah.
And in comes Jim West. And the funniest thing, I don't know if you saw it, when Jim sits down, he accidentally knocks the table, like that.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. I thought that was so great. Like, oh, they left it in instead of making him redo it.
Yeah. Yeah. We all are Shakedown. We all are. Yeah. This was the funniest scene because when I see Frankenstein guy over there in his boots and he dropped something and picks it up, and it was a weird like scene. I don't even know what they filmed that for. And he ends up just
napkin. He dropped his napkin. So the idea was that you went down, you saw those Spice Girl boots, and you're all, oh, it's the iron boot guy.
But he pretty much just walks out of the restaurant, though. I mean,
doesn't even pay his bill.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to. He'll kick them, is what he'll do. He's a horse, is what he is, of course. Dave's shell-shocked. I've done it, people. Dave is in a
92
comatose state.
8 more. 8 more.
Yeah, can't take it no more. Okay, so Jim goes back to the botanical garden, right?
No, Jim's going to go upstairs to the hotel.
That's right.
The train.
Yes, Artemis is up there.
Great scene again where we're staying at the hotel. He walks in. Artemis is in the bathtub, but the bathtub's full of water and he's face down.
Looks like he's drowned.
Yeah.
So, Jim's like, oh my God, Artemis. Oh, runs over there. Yeah. Oh, H-I-A-M. Hey, good evening. Good to see you, bud.
I wonder if he's related to Paul Ham.
O-H-A-M. I saw Paul Ham last night. He popped in.
Because I watched a little bit of the show last night.
Okay. Yeah. That was a little trippy last night, but it was a good episode, but anyways, yeah. What?
I'm beginning to think that's not ginger ale. So
I know, right?
Is face down in the water. Jim grabs him, and he's got another device that's a underwater lung where you can hold your breath for 5 whole minutes. It's got oxygen.
It's a breathing apparatus, Jim. How could I love how he was so angry that he pulled him out of the water. It's a breathing apparatus. I was saying, but what the heck was he laying like that for? He was basically face down and his legs were hanging up out of the tub. It was so funny. And in the meantime, when he gets out, he takes a shower and he's getting his suit on and stuff like that. He gets a knock on the door. And it's the bellboy. He looked like a bellboy. He looked like Jerry Lewis in the bellhop.
Totally.
The bellboy, yeah.
And he comes in, just has one suit. Jim goes, hanging over there, right there on the hook. Guy goes, no problem. Puts it on the hook, drops a bomb in the little satchel next to it.
Yeah, puts a little device in there, and it's drawn on with black crayon.
When it runs down, it's going to run to E, like it's empty for a car.
I know. What the heck was that, Dave?
I don't know.
When it was
E for explosion.
Oh my God. I have no idea. There were lines as it was clicking. It wasn't even clicking either. It was just moving.
Right. It was like an 8-timer.
Well, listen, if they did most of the bombs like this and they didn't get that clicking sound, that's what gave away most of those devices. But this one was silent.
It was very silent. The guy even hung around for a tip.
He did. He knew he had time. It's like, I need to get a drink tonight. They made me put this in his bag, his satchel,
Yes.
And E for explosion, empty. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't know. Hello, Ian Moon.
And
to see, I guess. Yeah.
Artemis goes back into the bathtub area.
Yeah.
Jim is reading a dossier, and he's reading about the Armand guy, and he's supposed to be missing a finger. And he's all like, he's not missing a finger. He goes, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And he walks over, and he looks down into the satchel, sees that it's just about to explode, jumps into the bathroom area with Artemis. The room gets exploded. Nothing happens to the wall between the bathroom and
I was going to say that. I mean, how is this going to kill them? It didn't do any damage, but it blew up the satchel.
That's it. And then the greatest quote. What do we do now?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The greatest quote. What do we do now? Well, we call housekeeping.
After the explosion and they blow up the satchel, I could just see Jim and Artemis over there going, oh no, what are we going to put our laundry in now? You know, end scene. Because nothing happened. Yeah, it didn't blow up the wall or nothing. But anyways, yeah. So
that was actually a really good Seinfeld voice.
Was it a good Seinfeld voice?
It was.
Oh, thank you. Last night I saw Mork and Mindy with Jonathan Winters and a woman. At the end is a robot and explodes. Lizzie. Yeah, I don't remember that episode, but it's been a while since I
checked out of Mork and Mindy when Jonathan Winters showed up.
Listen, when Jonathan Winters is in a show, you must watch it.
No,
he is. No,
there's something.
You didn't get him. You didn't get him. No. Okay, that's all right.
I mean, and I feel bad because Robin Williams was such a fan.
So was I. I loved him.
All right.
The guy was funny. All he needed to do was start talking. See, I mean, it's just two differences of opinion.
To me,
Don Rickles,
the same cat. I love Don Rickles.
Oh yeah, okay, good. I mean, if you were to say no on him, I would have been like, oh my god.
No, it's one of the guys who just died in his 90s. He was on Big Bang. He had his own Bob Newhart. I don't get Bob Newhart either.
No, I did. That's something I didn't get either. I think Bob Newhart had a show, and he was put in a good role for him.
Yeah,
and it created kind of a funny atmosphere to the show. Right. But he himself was not funny.
Okay.
That's what I think.
No, I agree.
I never got it. Yeah.
I just heard some of his, stand up when I was listening to my satellite radio, and it's just like I don't think it's funny.
Do you have to take does anybody take you up there to listen to your satellite radio? Like Elon?
Occasionally. Yeah.
Occasionally you'll get Elon Musk to take you up there.
But then you got to buy him dinner.
Oh geez. He's kind of high maintenance.
Very much so.
Wow.
And he gets
the thing is too, there's like only 2 subscribers to that satellite radio.
And Mr. Ed, I saw Jonathan Winters on Johnny Carson too, and I just
Yeah. No, I think if you don't get Jonathan Winters, you don't get him. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Bob Newhart show was funny. Yes, the show was funny, but Bob Newhart himself I never got it. Like Dave just said, he wasn't funny.
And even Newhart was funny.
If anything, yes, because the people around him on that show were funny. Wasn't it? Who were the 3 characters?
Daryl, and Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl. There you go.
But it's Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. There were 2 Daryls, 1 Larry. But when Bob Newhart started to talk, like during the show, there wasn't, even if there was a joke that he said, it was like no expression changed on his face, and he would say something funny or something, and it was always like, okay, well, he had that kind of just downer kind of demeanor, and without any expression. Maybe it was a robot, Dave.
Maybe.
Possibly.
But I will say that show is definitely indicative of the 80s and early 90s. It's just something I do remember and love. Occasionally, gosh, what was it? I'll watch some previews on YouTube of like of these TV shows, and I go, oh man, that was so great to remember. It was on every Wednesday night or whatever. That was just quintessential television.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, a lot of people, again, it was a good show. I actually enjoyed some of I've never watched all the episodes of Bob Newhart. I just never got into it. But I said, it's a good show. And I know a lot of people love the show, but I just don't get Bob Newhart. But anyways, Ian Moore, what did you say? You're British? You watch, I'm English. We had different shows. Well, you guys had some good shows, and we always stole them and made them our own over here. But anyways, okay. So where are we at, Dave? So
we're at the top of the hour, and we need to talk about what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, let's see if we got more than 42. Let's see how many more we picked up. Likes.
Maybe 47.
Oh my God, 45 likes.
Oh.
I made a big hubbub, and we got 4 more likes in 30 minutes. Oh God, dagger to the heart. Okay. What?
No, just you cracking me up.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm not bad. Thanks. Pancreatitis isn't giving me grief anymore. Well, that's good. Here he says Jonathan Winters is funnier than all get out in the mad. Yes, mad world. He was in there too. Okay, let's finish this out.
No, we got to talk about first what's happening next week. Next week is
the
very last episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker, episode 20, called The Century, and I cannot wait to see what that's like and how it's going to end.
It sounds like one of the funner shows, like a reptilian monster, but who knows how it's going to play out? Are they going to go out with a bang, or are they going to go out with a clunk? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what we'll find out next week.
We will. And then we're going to see, excuse me, Scooby-Doo episodes 1 and 2.
The podcast.
Can't wait to see how we do on those. Then we'll come back immediately for a Kolchak wrap-up, top 5, bottom 5, which I love the graphics on that. Thank you for doing that. And the Scooby-Doo graphics and the Norliss Tapes graphics. I saw all the thumbnails.
Thank you. Yes, we will be covering the Norliss Tapes too.
We do have a prediction show January 5th and Norliss Tapes. We're going to cover on January the 12th.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the Norliss Tape, and I made it a Paranormal Tonight show because I think that's what it should be when we do those shows, because I think a lot of Art Bell talk will be in amongst that show.
Definitely.
Because I'm going to hope that a lot of people send us their predictions in the chat, or whether it be email or nothing. I mentioned it yesterday. I haven't gotten one thing yet. So listen, who knows what we'll get, Dave, but we will recap last year and
but it'll be fun just to hang out. We can talk about our New Year's, see what we did. Hopefully, see what our plans are for the following year. I should have the whole year wrap figured out by then.
Oh, yeah. Dave, what of a show that'll be coming out, I think, a year from now, and you said you want to start covering that in 2 years? Yeah, so.
And it'll be exciting. January 26th, mark your calendars for Father Malachi Martin, episode 1.
Yes, haven't posted it yet, but that is going to be a really deep, good show for sure, talking about that. Good, mad, evil, the universe, lots of different stuff we'll talk about with Father Malachi Martin from Art Bell.
The Church Vatican Archives. Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh God. Lots to talk about. Okay. So I think he's on his way to the conservatory, Dave.
I believe you are correct.
He's got that little machine. Got that little machine that detects the Franconium.
And it was kind of an interesting choice the cinematographer made, or cameraman, where you see the blinking on his face, on Jim West's face, because he's walking around kind of in the dark, and he's walking around with that basically weather vane thing in the glass. Yeah. And the closer you get to the Franconium, it moves faster and faster. And so he's moving toward this Frankenstein crate, and it goes super quick, and you can just see it like covering his dark face with these lights, and it was just kind of a cool thing.
Cool camera work, yeah. Putting in that little detail that it's spinning, and if it starts, when it does start to go faster and faster and faster, which Jim for a second turns his head as it starts to spin faster, and you're like going, listen, you better hurry up and look at it, because you get any closer, you're going to get sick or something, man. But yeah, I like the old 70s shows like Faulty Towers. Oh, Ian Moon. Yeah, listen, if we could get you guys going and talking sitcoms, British sitcoms, one night, that would be awesome. Faulty Towers is a favorite of mine, a go-to. I love that show. Anyways, and same with Black's Books, and of course IT Crowd. A lot of people have seen that. Those are kind of my top 3 that I really love to watch. But okay, Dave. So he finds the crate.
He does, and conveniently, there's a crowbar on top of it.
Evidently, Clooney and Frankenstein are getting ready to ship this off.
Yeah, they're going to split town
to the motherland, Prussia.
Yes.
But Jim has different ideas, and he's going to try to use that and open up the crate. And when he does, he sees that Lieutenant Renard is in there, and he's got a glowing finger.
Because it's fake, and that's where they put the Franconium.
Yes, but it's not a glowing corpse.
No, we kind of got fooled. It should have been The Night of the Glowing Finger.
That would have been a funnier title. Would have really got me going. Are You Being Served is funny too. Yes, that's another good one.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Bezo, John Swan. Have you ever seen Faulty Towers, Dave?
No.
Do you like the Monty Python type stuff?
No.
Okay, forget it then. Let's
I'm
continue.
not against it. I like Benny Hill.
I love when he slaps the old guy on the head.
God, so good.
That guy took punishment, man.
He did.
Seeing him in his little white shorts and socks, wife beater T-shirt, and he's like 86 pounds, and he's 100 years old, and Benny Hill's slapping him around.
And he got to work with all these beautiful women.
Oh,
wearing next to nothing. It's like, okay, I'm up for that.
I don't think he said much either.
There's Detective Morse. I think I like more of the British detective type of story.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, there's quite a bit of that over there. Anyways, so he opens that up. He sees the body in there, and here comes Clooney. Yeah, take it from there, Dave.
Well, then she basically, we learn that she's Prussian. She's from that country, or at least born there. They're going to be taking back the Franconium, and they need to kill Jim West. And so they have this really neat device that drops down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's basically a fumigation room. And it's heavy metal. Boom, 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 boom. I thought that was a great scene. And he tries to jump up on the edge of the wall.
They encase him in a metal box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the roof comes down. Yeah. And he's in darkness. And then that lady slides open the little window and says, "You're going to be fumigated to death. Yeah. And nice knowing you.
We're going to shoot in some pesticide. Yeah. We're going to fumigate you."
And she's all, breathe deeply. It'll go quicker. So then
Jim's got all kinds of devices with him, though. He's going to get out of it.
Thank God for Artemis, right?
Yeah.
Who invents all these things. And he breathes into the plastic lung, I guess you could call it, for 5 minutes. And he sets up his little explosion that's going to take place. But in the meantime, Artemis shows up.
And he keeps lighting the wick on that, and it keeps going out.
Right.
And the only way for him to get that explosion when it does happen is to take off the mask and shoot some CO2 that he's exhaling, I guess, right? Or is it the oxygen?
The fumigation's killing all the oxygen.
Yeah.
And so
So
the
is it
fire
the
can't. Yeah, so he's giving it a little bit more oxygen to
from
finally
that
explode.
mass thing? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And what I love about the explosion that takes place is all the metal. It looks like a Batman explosion. All
Oh
the
yeah.
metal is turned back, turned back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite odd, but
But
yeah.
while he's encased, Artemis is showing up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's dressed up as a Waldo character. You know, he's got the stripes, he's got suspenders, he's got a weird little bandana around his neck, and he's all like,
Express man. Express man.
he goes, "I hear you have a crate, and we need to take it." And she's all, "Look, I don't have a crate." He goes, "Look, lady, there's a crate over there." He
The
goes, "You're
fact
a
the
little
fact that
loony."
she can open up the door and let him in to explain to him that she doesn't have a crate that she knows as darn well is filled with franconium and she can't have anybody near it, but she lets him in and he gets close enough to it to where he picks it up to start to move it until Frankenstein comes.
Well, I will tell you, we also had a small bit where Frankenstein needs to hammer down the nails of the crate of the pieces that Jim had pulled off with the crowbar, and he just uses his foot as the hammer.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He pounds it down with his steel foot. Hey Unc, what's going on? Good to see you. D says I loved how Artemis wasn't taken no for an answer. No, Artemis is strong-willed, that's for sure. Yes, Father Brown is another good one. British comedy. Anyways, so yeah, and then Artemis ends up getting knocked out pretty easily by Frankenstein.
Yes, he does.
I didn't know this would be a horror film when I started, but you know.
But she, then the explosion happens, and Jim escapes, and they're standing there, and the florist lady goes, she's given up. She goes, "You're amazing." She goes, "You know, anyone else would be dead by now. You're not, you know," but she goes, "That would have actually been the better way of your death because we're going to shoot you now."
Yeah.
And then Jim starts taunting Ironfoot, going, "You're going to listen to a woman tell you
Yeah,
what?"
you go listen to a woman, you're gonna, you know, how do and he's like and pushes her away and he throws his gun down because he wants a fight.
Yeah.
In a fight you will get.
Uh,
Mm, mm, mm,
and so
me
this is
down.
where Jim, one of his things is a blade out of his shoe that we talked about earlier, and it gets knocked off when he tries to slice his knees and pulls up his pants. And he's got two metal legs, and the woman just goes, "Train accident."
Train accident. But then they continue to fight. Hello, Edward Stewart. Good to see you. They continue to fight, and they're punching back and forth, and he's missing the foot, and he climbs up to like the landing right above.
Did you see that? The way that the stairs moved when he even like
Oh,
pulled
I saw
up?
all the shaking. Yeah, I saw all the shaking. I'm like, you know, that's not sturdy at
We
all.
need a
But
new set designer is what we need.
oh my gosh, can you imagine if there was some kind of accident? But yeah, he makes a wind up the winding staircase up on the landing.
But there was
Where go ahead.
earlier they're fighting, and Ironfoot is on his back and his feet are kicking still, and Jim is just going boom, 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 boom. It's like he's fighting the feet.
Yeah, I love the way he kept dodging the feet and kept pushing. That's kind of a Edward would know a judo move, back and forth, blocking these kicks and stuff like that. Really, really cool. But he does get up to the landing, and there's nowhere else to go. And you know, Frankenstein, kind of throws him over the railing, but Jim's able to hold on. And you can explain this because this is funny part too.
All right, so it's
We
a
said it earlier.
classic railing falls apart.
Yeah.
He's holding on with his two hands, and Ironfoot, of course, is just going to step on his hands.
Yeah.
But you can see Jim like takes one of his hands and he pulls it underneath the landing.
Because he's holding up underneath.
Yeah, he's
with
got
that.
the silly putty.
Yeah.
And but the woman had opened the vat up for the tanning leather, whatever. So it's kind of all like bubbling milk basically in a skillet.
Yeah, I guess it's boiling. I don't know how they did that. Boiling. Nevertheless, it's boiling. So if somebody falls in there, they're going to die by boiling. They're going to get burned and go into shock and die real quick. So,
which you would think those would have been turned off anyway when the tanning place ended.
right, but she had, yeah, you would. Why is it still filled up? But she knew that there was some scheme just in case. I don't know.
So the guy is like, oh, wow, I must have killed him. And he gets on his knees and he looks down over the balcony and he can't see anything in the water. But all of a sudden, Jim's hand comes up, pulls him from the hair, just does a perfect somersault into the vat.
Yeah, honestly, if he pulled him and he did fly like that, maybe his head would have hit the corner of the thing and his whole body. He wouldn't have made it in there because it was long ways. You would have had to have spun your body straight down and gone. Anyways, I'm overthinking it, but he did fall into it. Yeah, it's television. And yeah, Artemis wakes up and end show. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, it's so funny too because we had talked about like underneath.
Oh no, there's
like
the
a little
ending.
bit more than 10 seconds of that holding on, and then he just like pulls himself up, and they pretty much.
Well, no, we do go back to it ends like it started. They're back at a meeting, and he's going into that room where there's a beautiful blonde. You just see the back of her, and you're like, oh, wait a second, is that Clue? Wait, what's going on? And then it's another girl, who turns around, and Jim kind of.
Well, she also delivers the same line as the florist girl did. Are you interested in flowers or bombs?
Same thing that Clooney said when he appeared in there, which is kind of weird. But the question is, boiling stuff for tanning. Why did it dissolve a person? Well, it's not that it dissolved the person. It's boiling. It's going to scald you immediately, and you're going to go into shock, and you're going to die in this boiling water, right? And for television's sake, what more are you going to do? They could have had him, grab up and fall out and like wriggle, squirm around. There's the word, squirm around, in pain until he finally his heart gives out because the pain is just too severe. So that's an in-depth hypothesis on what would happen.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they're back, and it's almost a duplicated opening scene where they're having a meeting again.
Right. And so he immediately asks her out to the theater, and she says, yes, of course, but I can't leave my assistant. And the assistant is more beautiful than
the sister.
And so Artemis is all, hey, I've got 2 tickets too. And so they go walking out, and then one of the French guys goes, oh, Yankees formidable, or something like that.
Yeah. Je t'aime les Yankees. The Yankees and their love, the Americans and how they love the ladies. Listen, the French were known for that back then. What are we talking about here? That silly guy who wasn't it, Dr. Whatever his name was. Anyways, it's over. That's it. The episode's done. I'd give it a 6.0.
All right.
Yeah.
I was up at a 6.5.
Good for you. 5 more than me. See you guys. No, thank you. Once again, happy birthday to Connie and Connie's dad, Tim. Really appreciate it. I could let us. No, I'm going to do that. But yeah, happy birthday again to Connie and Connie's dad's Tim. Thank you guys very much. And again, I did look at all those analytics and stuff like that. I was amazed at how many people are over the 40-month period for being a member for the channel and supporting what I do here. As crazy as it is, and sometimes wacky, sometimes maybe not. Well, it's always entertaining, I would think. Whether I'm
unpredictable.
Unpredictable is the way to say it. So I do appreciate all of that. So I will be doing a stream, and there will be, as silly as it sounds, the Late Horror Show Hall of Fame. And Anybody going over that, 36 months or something period will be up on there. And listen, the list is already about 16, 17 members are over the past the 36 month point. So, and Connie is the first person on that list going all the way down. She's been, I think, 45 or 49. I have to relook again. Actually, Dave, if you don't care, hold on a second here.
I've never cared.
I know you don't care. I'm going to put up and share the top tier of members and who is going to be in the Hall of Fame here. There's going to be more than just this, but I am sharing this right now. I should make it a little bit bigger right there. And let me take the chat away for a second. As you see there at the very top and all the way to the right, Connie Clary at level 3 support for 45 months. 45 months. And I will go over this in depth on another stream. But, Stephen Kelly's right there, and Bubba, Kathy, Old Time Radio at Night is still there. I haven't seen her in a long, long time. Edward Stewart right after that. Mary, who always learning, who's always behind the scene, always supporting the show for all these, years. And, don't really chat or anything like that. But, she's always there. And I appreciate it, Mary, if you're listening to this. And Janet, Vicky, Kit Kat, JLR, Skymo. Listen, I can go on and on. I'm not going to make this stream about, all the members. I've got about 12 more pictures to show when it comes to this. So I'm going to stop sharing that and bring me and Dave and put the chat back up there. There we go. If it'll come back. Yeah, there we go. It should. So yeah, Dave, man, I'm just amazed. So I do want to just do something for the members that are, there. And even all the way down till day one, somebody became a member yesterday, and it's there. So I think I'm going to do a stream putting all that together. And RTN will be there, and Connie Hilton will be there, that passed away, both from cancer. Rest in peace. We'll never forget you. So there you go. So, anyways, next week is Kolchak, very last one. So I hope everybody shows up for that. It's going to be a great one. And I tell you what, the top 5, bottom 5 is going to be a really fun show, recapping all of the episodes. And are you going to do a rewatch of all of those before the show, Dave?
Hey, you think I'm going to rewatch Mr. Ring?
Well, not Mr. Ring, but yeah. No, I don't think I could do that either. But yeah, definitely.
I might rewatch the Werewolf and the Vampire. A lot of the early ones, I think tend to be our favorites. But I also love the Headless Fonzie one. So there's a lot of really cool episodes in this series.
Yes. So I can't wait for that. I really can't. That's going to be fun. Anyways, I think that's it. As always, please make sure you go and check out the description below. Dave's link to his channel is there, and you get to see Bo and Dave do his thing, and his gardening and stuff like that. And Bo walks around with them, and it's kind of cool. So go over there and subscribe.
105th video posted on that channel.
Wow. Okay. So adding them up, man.
Absolutely.
Good for you. The Night Stalker is always on in our house. Always? You know what? All in the Family is always on in my house. Well, And
when it's not on, Sanford and Sons.
Yeah, I tell you what. I wake up every morning, and to go back to bed, I put All in the Family on and just turn the volume down as low as I can. So I think the past couple months, it's like just constantly season 1 all the way through, season 1 all the way through, season 1. So one way or the other, I'm listening to it or watching it even while I'm sleeping. So there you go. Horror in the Heights is one of my favorites from Kolchak, Sin City Jim. Yep, I remember you guys all had. Some people had some different favorites, so it's going to be interesting to see what me and Dave have, and if they coincide at all. But with that said, we're going to leave you for the night, and we will see you next Sunday. I do believe I will see you Saturday for another Night Gallery episode talk discussion.